3.5 months ago, I did a video talking about the ending of the Boruto series because the writers said that they want to end the entire Naruto story within 100 volumes. In that video, I did some calculations, and basically, the Naruto manga had 72 volumes, and this means that most likely Boruto will have 28 volumes. I think in the interview, don't quote me on this one because it's been like 3 months since I read the interview, but anyway, I think that either Kodachi or Ikemoto, one of those two, said that they want to end Boruto within 30 volumes, but my assumption is that they're gonna try to make it a perfect 100 volume arc by having Boruto end with volume 28. And in this video, I'm gonna try and predict when the time skip of Boruto will happen. The quote-unquote Boruto Shippuden. I'm not saying that it's gonna be called Boruto Shippuden, but you know what I mean when I say that. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Before I start talking about the Boruto manga, I want to bring up the Naruto manga for a second, and it's pretty relevant. Let me explain. So, part 1 of Naruto lasted for 238 chapters of the Naruto manga, and that's basically 34% of the entire thing. At chapter 239, Kakashi's backstory is finally getting revealed, and the Shippuden portion of the Naruto series technically starts at chapter 245, so it's not 66% of the story, but it's like 65% point something. The point is, Naruto Part 1 lasted for 34% of the story in terms of the manga. Now, I think something pretty similar could happen with Boruto. Apart from the first volume of Boruto, which had 3 chapters, all the other Boruto volumes had 4 chapters so far, and we can assume that all of them will have 4 chapters. Right now, 7 volumes are out, and the final chapter of volume 7 is chapter 27. Let's assume that chapters 28, 29, 30, and 31 are going to be volume 8, and by the way, the cover page for volume 8 literally came out today. I think I saw it on Twitter. I can't put it here because of copyrights. And then chapters 32, 33, 34, and chapter 35, which is gonna come out like next week, they're gonna conclude volume 9. And already at this point, assuming that Boruto will have 111 chapters, because the first 3 chapters, which is the first volume, and then another 27 volumes, 27 times 4 is 108, plus 3, that's 111. So anyway, already about 30% of the Boruto manga is done. And just remember the fact that the Naruto Part 1, it lasted for 34% of the story. Now, there are 2 possible scenarios that I'm predicting right now when it comes to the Boruto manga. Boruto Shippuden, quote-unquote Boruto Shippuden, you get what I mean. The time skip will either happen not in the next chapter, but like chapter 36 or chapter 40. That's my assumption. Basically, I'm predicting that one of the next 2 volumes will start with a time skip. Let me give you a couple of arguments. First of all, just like Naruto, I think the majority of the Boruto series will happen after the time skip, because once the time skip happens, the characters are stronger, meaning that they can engage in more dangerous fights. Since the story is getting close to its ending, villains are getting more powerful, more ridiculous, and overall the story is getting more and more interesting. We're seeing more and more fights, more deaths, tension rises all the time. And, it's just natural that Shippuden is always going to be longer than Part 1. So yeah, that's the first argument. Second argument, as I already said, Naruto manga Part 1 lasted for 34% of the story. We're already around the 30% mark. That's my second argument. Third argument, this isn't really an argument because I can't really back it up with any, statistics or whatever. But it's just, I guess it's my personal opinion. I feel like the time skip is just, around the corner. I don't know, it's something about the Boruto manga recently. The last, I don't know, 10 chapters or so, we had so many fights, so many revelations, Kawaki's backstory, all of this, and I just kind of sense it. And even back in Naruto Part 1, everything at the end, everything was just escalating, getting crazy, and then boom, a time skip. Again, it's not really an argument, but it's, rather, it's something that I'm feeling, a gut feeling that I have right now. And anyway, near the end of Naruto Part 1, Naruto was pretty much, he pretty much knew that he was the target of the Akatsuki. And now that Jigen, and that happened in the last chapter, now that Jigen knows that Boruto has the karma, I'm pretty sure that Boruto is also going to be targeted by Kara. And maybe you can make an argument that it's some type of parallel right there. And, now Boruto is going to leave with Sasuke to train, just how Naruto left with Jiraiya. And we all know that Jiraiya died, and Sasuke is likely to die in the future of the Boruto series. I have done multiple videos on this because there are certain hints early on in the Boruto anime that point towards this. I'm gonna have a video at the end screen of this video where I talk about Naruto and Sasuke and why I think by the end of the series Sasuke will be dead and Naruto will be alive. And it's just maybe this parallel could kind of support this argument. But anyway, if my prediction is correct, if one of my two predictions are correct, Boruto Shippuden will either start in July, August, September, October, or November. So anyway, my prediction, and I think I just came up with an idea for the title of this video literally right now. I think Boruto Shippuden in the manga will start in 2019. That was your boy Hokage. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section of this video. Twitter, Discord, Instagram, and second channel links are in the description of this video. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.